About a year ago, I switched to a de-Googled phone running EOS, and it changed how I think about privacy. But when I saw the CMF Phone 1 pop up on Marina's stores, a nothing design with EOS pre-installed, I smashed that pre-order button so fast. Now, after daily driving this combo for months, I am ready to answer the big question. Can a de-Googled phone actually replace your mainstream Android device? Here's the ugly truth. Your phone is a spy. Even if you avoid Google Apps, stock Android phones send megabytes of data to Google daily. Your location, app usage, even when you're idle. And it's not just for ads. This data builds a permanent profile tied to your identity. De-Googled Android strips all of that out. It's like regular Android, but with Google's tentacles surgically removed. No hidden trackers, no disabled pre-install apps that you can't delete. But the best part is that you're not totally cut off with EOS. You still get apps like Uber and banking tools thanks to their app lounge. And there are still a few trade-offs, but at least using EOS, there are less and less trade-offs each year. Let's talk about EOS 3, because this update really shows how far the software has come. In their live stream, Marina said that this update focused on ease of use. And that's a good thing, because in the early days of de-Googled Android, there were rough edges everywhere. No ride sharing, broken banking apps, there were compromises everywhere you looked. But by the time EOS 2 drops, the banking apps finally opened, Uber and Lyft actually worked, the VPN got faster, Android Auto arrived, and the design felt less beta and more polished. That was the update that convinced me to switch full-time. Now EOS 3 isn't about flashy changes. In fact, it looks just like EOS 2, but like I said, they're focusing on ease of use, and they announced a few new features. So they improved advanced privacy. They created a custom Find My device. There are now parental controls, contactless payments, and there are a few more things in development too, such as a desktop mode and AI integrations. But to me, the killer feature of EOS is the app lounge. It is still my favorite thing. It's just like the Play Store, but with a privacy nutrition label for every app. So TikTok, 0 stars, no surprises there. But you might be surprised to find out that baby monitors are scoring just as bad. The App Lounge gives you all that information front and center, along with a convenient rating so that you can choose which apps you want to download. And this has completely changed how I interact with my phone and how I download apps. And guess what? There is always a cleaner alternative. It's kind of hard to show off how awesome the App Lounge really is, but I'm going to try to show off why I think it's so useful when deciding what apps to download. So I've looked at some of the most popular Android apps from the Play Store in multiple categories, and I've pulled up their App Lounge pages. Let's start with social media. These are some of the most downloaded apps in any store. And it should probably come as no surprise that these apps make their money by harvesting your data and advertising to you. TikTok is no better than Meta or X. Blue Sky stands out here as a clear leader with an 8 out of 10 for privacy, but what does that mean? When an app has a 10 out of 10 privacy score, that means that there are no dangerous permissions required and no trackers installed. But if it has a 0 out of 10, then that means you are most likely having your data harvested. The privacy ratings are automatically derived from security reports created by Exodus, a European nonprofit. Exodus analyzes Android applications and looks for embedded trackers and lists them in their reports. The App Lounge takes those reports and automatically converts them into a simple-to-understand privacy rating. Having this information directly in the App Lounge lets the user make informed choices about what apps they download. So comparing TikTok to Blue Sky, while they both require a large number of permissions, Blue Sky's only tracker is a crash report, while TikTok has Facebook and Google and other trackers. When we look at the most popular AI apps, in a shocking twist, while most of them rank pretty high, Google comes out as the least invasive. And again, when we examine the Exodus reports for the highest and lowest rated AI apps, we can see a clear distinction between them. Copilot has a 0 out of 10 rating with 3 trackers and needs access to 39 permissions, some of which are sensitive, while Gemini has no trackers and no dangerous permissions required. The App Lounge lets me really understand what information an app is going to collect once I download it. It lets me know what the real cost of some free apps actually are. And even things like messaging apps seems to be a bit hit or miss, which is even more reason to love the App Lounge because it just lets me know which ones I can trust and which ones I can't. And honestly, there's no reason for video streaming apps to be scoring so low on security. Spotify here is a real standout loser among all of the audio streaming apps in respect to privacy. And all of those free classes are costing you data. And somehow the most popular authenticator apps are some of the worst offenders. I don't really play games, but these are popular. Cloud storage shouldn't be spying on you. And PDF viewers don't need mic or location access. The App Store, along with advanced privacy, make it really easy to take control over your personal data. All right, this is really exciting. If you remember, when I reviewed my first EOS phone, I completely ignored Marina's cloud. And that's because at the time, Workspaces was down, or at least most of it was. It felt like trying to replace Google with a toolbox that was missing half of its tools. And that wasn't a huge deal because there's a ton of alternatives in the App Lounge, but native Notes apps and calendar apps weren't syncing, and a lot of the tools in the cloud itself weren't accessible. And you can't just yank Google out and leave this gaping hole of services and expect that to work. And Marina gets that. So finally, Workspaces is back and it's fully loaded and privacy focused. So just like Google or iCloud, you've got your Drive, your documents, your sheets, your slides, your calendar and contacts, a little bit of free storage with paid upgrade versions, and other tools like a task manager, GitLab, a cookbook, a password manager, and forms. I think I'll probably have to do a separate video in the future that focuses on Marina's cloud because there's just too much to get into for this video. But all that's to say that this is a huge improvement from a year ago. So overall, I'm really happy with all of the changes that Marina has made behind the scenes with EOS. I think I'm particularly excited about the Find My Phone feature that doesn't rely on Google servers to work, and it's all done over SMS. And I'm excited to see what they do for EOS 4 next year. I mean, these improvements have been great, and they're also talking about doing AI stuff and making sure that more payment apps are compatible with NFC payments. And they've even mentioned doing commercial device management so that companies can use EOS in an enterprise fashion. But if you watched my last video, you already know that I'm a fan of EOS. That's no surprise. So what about the CMF Phone 1? Nothing's CMF line is all about affordable premium, and honestly, this phone delivers in every metric. So let's start with the display. This is probably my favorite thing about this phone. It's excellent. 6.6 inches AMOLED, 120 hertz variable refresh rate, gets really bright. It says 2000 nits peak. The screen is stupid good for the price. 1080p is crisp. It's as dense as you need it to be for a pocket-sized screen, and the colors are vibrant. I've got nothing bad to say about the display. Performance, it's got a MediaTek chip, 7300 with 6 gigs of RAM and 6 more virtual gigs. I edited some videos in CapCut without hiccups. I'd still rather be doing video editing on a bigger screen and a keyboard, but this works and there's no slowdowns. And the battery is really great too. It's got 5,000 milliamp hours and 33 watt charging, so it charges pretty quick. I normally get about 2 full days of use between charges, sometimes 3 if it's light use. And I think that the real thing that makes EOS phones' batteries last longer than typical Android phones is that there's no Google services draining the power in the background pinging your data, which is a total game changer for just keeping your phone alive throughout the day. And let's talk about the cameras. We've got 2 rear cameras, a 50 megapixel and a 2 megapixel that can do 4K at 30 frames per second, Ultra HD video recording, and then a 16 megapixel front camera. And the cameras are okay. With good lighting and maybe a little editing, you can take some perfectly postable pictures for social media. It's a far cry from a flagship camera, but it's still really good. Marina has been working with the phone manufacturers to actually take advantage of the hardware in their camera app. So over time, this app has been getting better and better. I've noticed a huge improvement in the quality of pictures over the last 6 months. So the CMF Phone 1 and EOS combo is so close to being the privacy flagship that we deserve. But if you're tired of selling your soul and your data for a shiny new phone every year, this is the best alternative yet. With a robust privacy-respecting operating system and app store, a beautiful display, a multi-day-long battery, all packaged in this thoughtfully designed device with software updates on the horizon. Nothing, Morena, keep collaborating. Give us a true de-Googled flagship with Nothing's design and EOS's privacy. I see so much potential in these two companies working together. I know Nothing wants to disrupt the phone industry, and I personally see a potential future partnership between these two as a bold way forward towards that vision. Nothing, I love the phone. Marina, I love EOS. I really hope you guys do more work together in the future, but until then, this is my daily driver.